Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. And this watch, part of a model line that debuted in 2009 at Baselworld from Glashutte Original of Glashutte, Germany. This is the Senator Chronometer. 42 millimeters in diameter in pink gold. It's 12.2 millimeters thick and from lug tip to lug tip, 48.5 millimeters with a 21 millimeter spacing in between the lugs. The watch is designed to echo vintage deck clocks or navigation chronometers produced in Germany and employed to navigate ships safely across the seas. And the dial is very much that. With the exception of the date window, you could be looking at one of those navigation clocks. The strap is upscale. You can see black, thick-cut alligator leather, semi-gloss on the top with a folded edge and a monotone stitch, conformed, closely hewn to the case. You can see at the bottom, calfskin, no crimping, no gouging, brand new factory strap. A massive clasp. Double folding with twin trigger release. You must press both of these triggers to open it. It will not open inadvertently. And this clasp seems to have a mass equivalent to some dress watches, yes, entire watches that I've experienced. It's got a lot of substance to it, reassuring and solid. You can see we've got little ceramic spring-loaded pin snaps in there, the little ceramic ball bearing, so that it will remain snappy over time. The tolerances can never loosen because the ceramic pin snap cannot wear down, or at least gold can't wear it down. We have media blast, polish, and satin on this clasp. This is often the case with Glashutte Original. Brogioli of Switzerland made the clasp. Taking a look at the case, the lugs are stepped out, though not as dramatically as you'll see on a Longa. Everything's polished, and we have a Glashutte Original branded crown with a little pusher adjuster for adjusting the calendar. Note that the calendar is the same color as the dial, and the discs are flush for the panorama datum or the outsized date. Nicely executed. You can see the lugs actually ride up the side of the bezel a little bit. That's a trick used by watch designers to create a larger, fuller lug without making the watch thicker. You could create a longer, fuller lug, but then you'd have to put the bezel on top of it. The watch would get thicker. Or you could cut the lug down where the case top ends, but you would wind up with a short, cropped lug. So this little bit of overlap improves the aesthetics considerably. The bezel has a vertical lip, a conical profile, and then a final flange abutting the crystal. Crystal with a very slight camber. Glashutte Original makes its own dials. Initially, they purchased a dial maker in Pforzheim, but my understanding is at this point they've relocated everything to the city whose name is on the dial. And you can see this dial is a very subtle kind of lacquer. The closer you get, the more you realize it's textured like a very fine-surfaced sandpaper. We have a chemin de fer, or railroad track outboard for the minutes, as well as a smaller one for the seconds. We have radially arrayed Roman numerals, including a watchmaker's 4. We have Poire style hands. And we'll throw this on my hand or my wrist. And you can see it wears nicely. It's thin, 12.2 millimeters thick. It's quite slender, but it is broad and fairly large. So I'm going to recommend this for a wrist my size or larger, 16 centimeters circumference and up, and this watch will look great on your wrist. Taking a closer look at the dial, you can see some of these marine chronometer features really take away the date, and it is an uncanny resemblance. So winding the watch, look at the power reserve indicator. It works like a marine chronometer, so it approaches 0 as it approaches fully wound. F. Pigeon chronometer style power reserves work the same way, and the idea is that historically you would wind a marine chronometer every 24 hours on the 24th hour. So it was important to know, for the sake of regular winding, how many hours since the last full winding, rather than how many hours until the clock would stop. So when this is fully wound, it indicates up, but up also corresponds to 0. It's got a 44-hour power reserve and a 4 hertz beat rate. It's a little day and night indicator between 27 and 18, and I'll perhaps demonstrate how that works. The watch has a unique system for setting. Do you see the seconds hand? Watch this. Okay, 0 reset. There are watches that have that. Longa has that. Panerai has that. Others too. But now watch the minute hand. It jumps in 1 minute steps. It's actually indexed to move in 1 minute steps in both directions. And I have never seen a indexing minute hand, and it works quite well. If you move it slowly, it steps perfectly. And that is a unique feature on these. I've never seen any other watch that has that feature. So you can set it quite precisely. And it is a lot of fun to just play with the mechanism. So the dial's a lovely sort of granular silver lacquer. It's got a little bit of an undertone of cream. It's off-white, I would describe it. Turning it over, you can see the caliber here, 5801. It's 32.2 millimeters in diameter, so it's nicely sized for a big watch. So it goes through a certification process, and this is the DIN 8319, which is a chronometer test of the fully assembled watch, not a bare movement as with the COSC. And so the Office of Weights and Measures of the state of Thuringia tests this for 15 days and then accords it a chronometer certificate as a fully assembled German chronometer. Now, what's fascinating about the movement is how it's constructed. So we have this beautifully double solarized ratchet wheel, and then adjacent we have this planetary system. So that if you're winding the watch, I'll just turn this over so it's easier to see. If you're winding the watch, the planetary equalizes force. I think I may have wound it all the way. But the planetary will ensure that there's not a huge fluctuation of energy being transmitted to the escapement. So the idea here is that you're able to wind to the barrel without a huge fluctuation of torque that changes as you wind to the barrel. So that's what the planetary is there for. You can see it's beautifully decorated. It's a 58 joule movement. It's adjusted in a chronometer style 5 positions. We've got a big 3/4 style plate like an antique German pocket watch. You can see we have quite a bit of black polish. We have double solarization. We have these lovely narrow stripes across the bridges, perfectly aligned. A black polished cap for the escape wheel, black polished swan's neck fine adjustment mechanism. All of this is 50 meters water resistant. We have golden chaton cups fixed by fired blued screws. Note we have both polished and blued screws here. The 3/4 plate, the chaton cup settings, the freehand engraved balance cock, all elements taken from historic German pocket watches and deck clocks. And you can see we've got a lovely bevel on the edge of the bridge, as well as engine turning on the base plate. And it is a true work of art and a great German chronometer in the tradition of the nautical navigation clocks. So if you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase and pricing details. I'll show you just one more thing. In addition to the instantaneous jumping date, I want you to see how that little day-night indicator up at 12 o'clock works. Okay, now we are looking at 7 a.m., just like that. That's how that works.